So when it comes to investing, a small mistake can compound and cost you a bunch of money. So you really want to be careful and take things step by step, okay? And I learned this lesson a long time ago when I bought some IKEA cabinets. I was so excited. I brought them home and I was like, I don't need instructions. I don't need tutorials. I'm just going to build this myself like a man. And I started building. After about 2 hours, I gave up. And I was like, it's not working out. I grabbed the instructions. I did everything wrong. I had to basically take everything apart. And then I realized that even following the instructions, I did not understand what to do. And then I had to watch a video on a guy building the cabinet. And only then, with the instructions in the guide, I was able to basically get it done. So when it comes to investing, guys, yes, I know for a fact we all have the willingness to learn, like I had the willingness to do the whole cabinets, but we also have instructions like books, and we also have people like me on the internet that are going to tell you exactly how things work and what the best way to actually do it actually is, in accordance to how I do it myself, because my whole experience comes from, hey, guys, this is what I do. I'm a very boring investor, and to me, it's all about allowing your money to grow steadily without risking losing everything you have, okay? Financial freedom is the key. It's not to get wealthy by tomorrow. That is not what this video is about, okay? So, as always, guys, like this video and tap on also subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified. Now, the first mistake people tend to make is this, okay? I tell people all the time, I recommend you actually get a Roth IRA or a brokerage account. And people say, wow, that's pretty cool, Tommy. I'm going to do that. They go ahead and they open up the accounts, they send money over there. And then before you know it, they're like, okay, why is my money not growing? The answer is very simple. I remember a while back, almost 2 years back, I think now, I read this book. It was called I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. It was the new edition or whatever. I read the book before, but this was a new edition. And he said, there was this lady and she was investing for 10 years, like a decade, literally into a Roth IRA. She sent money every single month religiously. And her investments were not growing. And the answer is simple. She did not read the instructions and she did not watch a video on how the whole thing works. The answer is a Roth IRA, a brokerage account. These are just accounts. When you send money in, it gets added into your cash balance. With that cash balance, you're supposed to buy actual investments. That's the whole idea, okay? So if you don't pick actual investments and you don't actually buy them, your money will not be growing because in reality, it is just sitting there. So one big thing is do not forget to pick the investments you're going to put your money in and actually buy those investments when you send the money over, okay? Very important. Now, number two, a reason a lot of folks get into trouble, guys, is because they don't understand management fees, okay? Now, here's what I mean by this, okay, guys? Management fees in investing, it kind of feels like, Tommy, I'm paying a professional to do the work for me. And just like in the real world, I want to pay a lawyer or a doctor a lot of money. These are professionals. They know what they're doing. They have a lot of experience. But in the world of finance and money, the professionals just charge you money, but they're actually not beating the market whatsoever, okay? So it's not actually necessary. Here's an example. There was this guy, he was a janitor. His name was Ronald. He had a 2-bedroom apartment, lived there like forever, okay? And in reality, when this guy passed away, he was just basically investing money into a few big blue chip stocks or whatever. He put money in there religiously every single month with his little janitor salary. And that was it. The guy was not that crazy smart. He was not a genius. He didn't have a lot of money. And when he passed away with over $8 million. That's how cool it is, okay? So the big thing is, okay, when it comes to investing, the biggest component is not the professional. The biggest component is going to be time and allowing compound interest to work its magic. And if you're earning 8% with the S&P 500, for example, here's 8%, okay? That's what most professionals are trying to beat, the S&P 500, the overall market. So you think about it, if most of them can't even beat it and you earn 8%, but you give these people 1% or 2% of your money, what are you left with? The answer is usually they take basically a third of your potential gains into the future. And here's why. Because 8% is not 8%. 8% plus a 2% fee, plus, for example, taxes, plus, for example, 2% or 3% inflation leaves you with about 2 to 3%, okay? Meaning they take about a third of all your potential gains, and that's not what you want to allow. But if you also put your money into a Roth IRA, you also waive, for example, those management fees, because in reality you do it yourself, and you also waive the taxes because you put it into a retirement account. So you only worry about inflation, but compound interest is going to handle that for you. Now, number three is people don't invest enough money. Now, I know people tell me, Tommy, can I start investing with $50 or $20 per month? And I'm like, you could. You really could, because fractional shares exist, but why would you want to do that, okay? Why wouldn't you want to put in more money into something that's going to benefit you in the future? Why not cancel all your stupid bills like Netflix and your cable bill and your phone bill that's so expensive? Combine those and you're investing like over $300 just like that, okay? Why not do that instead, okay? So I believe that every single person should be trying to live on at least 50% to 75% of their income. So they should be saving half their income or at least 25% of the income. So thus, they should be investing 10 to 20% of their income. So imagine this for a second. If you make 40K a year and you invest 10% of that money, that's around $333 every single month. After 50 years and an 8% return, that adds up to around $2.2 million. That is a good amount of money. And whenever people tell me, hey, I'm not gonna wait 50 years for $2.2 million, that's not a lot of money. The answer is, well, if you put in $333 every month times 12, a year that was only about like $4,000, or 50 years, bro, all you put in was like $200,000 and you have 2.2 million. You basically made 10 times your money. That is awesome, okay? If you want to have more, you invest more. But the idea is, even if you don't invest a ton of money, compound interest is going to handle it and give you a good return overall, okay? That's the idea. And by the way, the reason most folks can't invest 15% or 10% or 20% is because basically they try to invest while they still have a bunch of debt and they don't even have an emergency account, so they have to pause every now and then, okay? But if you have no debt, handle that first. If you have an emergency fund account, handle that first, right? Then you're able to invest freely, and if things go wrong, you're able to handle it and take care of it. Now, number four is big mistake I see all the time, and I made this mistake myself, is basically you try to invest too much money. I did that. I was basically living on 10% of my income and investing 90% of it. Now that got me a good investment account, pretty good, okay? But in reality, what happens is these investment accounts should be left to allow compound interest to handle everything and to grow over time. And you should not interrupt it or take money out, okay, before you can actually do it, okay? So my whole thing was, I'm gonna invest a lot of money, but why do all that stuff when what I could have done was basically, like I told you guys before, okay, pay off my debts first, save for emergencies, and then just invest 10-20% of my income, grab the rest, start saving up for a home. Once I have that cash or I bought the home, paid off in full, then I'm able to either invest more money, which is good, or I'm able, for example, to buy some rental properties. Now I have cash flow coming in. That's cash for me to handle my business, and then I still have those investments growing perpetually, okay? That's a better plan, in my opinion. But putting all your money into the stock market is probably not the best idea, in my personal opinion. Now, I'm not saying you have to be super diversified in the stock market, because that's also stupid. I do recommend, my only investment, by the way, is just number 5 here, which is this, and I'll tell you more here. People try to be smart like Warren Buffett when all they have to do is be as smart as a rock, okay? Warren Buffett spends 8 to 6 hours every single day studying financial statements. That's what he loves. He's passionate about it, okay? He loves being in that field. For the average person, they don't want to do that. All they want to have is their money grow over time, and they want to have enough for retirement. They want to have some passive income coming in. That's enough. So to do that, all you really have to do, and what I do is basically is I put 100% of my investment money into the S&P 500. That's what I personally do, because I believe that investing into the S&P 500, which is the 500 largest companies in the U.S., well, I'm basically invested into the U.S. overall. I only fail if we fail as a country, and if that happens, then everything else doesn't matter anyways, okay? And the whole world might collapse, because in reality, we're so intertwined when it comes to our economies, okay? That's the idea. So that's why I invest the way I invest. Now, that means just by doing that, I can make 8%. And to me, that is more than enough. That's my only investment It's the way I invest. While, for example, do I want to spend 8 hours of my day reading financial statements? For me personally, that's not what I want to do. So that's not what I do. So that's more than enough for me. Okay, guys. Now, here's one last tip that I'll tell you guys. Okay. You want to figure out exactly how much money you want to get to in the stock market. And there's a very simple way to do it. And the answer is, okay, if you want to receive, for example, $20,000 a year from the stock market, just divide that number by 0.04. So divide it by 0.04, that is 4%, by the way. And that tells you, hey, you need $500,000 in there. Or another simple way is whatever the number is you want a year, multiply it by 25, and that also gives you the number 2. So 25. So that means basically $500,000. So that means that if you take out 4%, that's going to equal $20,000 a year. So if your investment make you 8% on average, you take 4%, your investments keep growing. So this way you don't run out of money, but you're also able to have money come in every single year without having to go crazy and worry about it too much. And when you did the math, when you run the math, it should last you at least a minimum of 33 years if you do have some crazy stuff happen. But the odds of that are pretty low. But it could happen, but 33 years is still a pretty good amount of time to kind of sort everything out, okay? Guys, that is it. These are little things, mistakes people basically make, but it can cost them tens of thousands of dollars. Trying to pick your own stocks, trying to invest way too much money, have to take money out, or not investing enough and not allowing compounding to actually multiply that money even more, or going ahead and basically trying to get professionals to do it, okay? Or not understanding the market. All these things are big mistakes and cost you a bunch of money. And lastly, not actually invest in the money, right? You got to pick your investments. As always, guys, thanks for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, comment down below, made it, so I know you made it all the way to the end. On top of that, if you're new here, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified. On top of that, up here is another video. Over here is my Facebook and Instagram. As always, Long Term Team officially out.